Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So I'm going to be doing a MemoryDex of Little Charlotte today. So if you want to see how this one came together, then just keep watching. Okay, so I asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted to see a MemoryDex card or a planner page, and MemoryDex won, but only just. But I probably will still do a planner page. I'll just do it off camera and I'll show you later. So I'm going to start off with this bit of white cardstock. This is Cricut white cardstock, and I'm only using it because it's a little bit thicker than my regular cardstock, and I just want it to be a bit bulkier. And I'm just grabbing one of my old MemoryDex cards. This is the one from when we made it for Charlotte's ultrasounds, just to give me the height here, which I then should have, made sure I went through the whole way there. But anyway, I'll fix that up after. Now I'm a little unsure of a couple of bits in this, which is why I'm sort of making my card first. I'm actually going to do this on the other trimmer. Getting the card shape where I want it, and then I can work out how to do the tricky bit that I'll show you guys in just a sec. So what I've gone ahead and done already is I have grabbed my ultimate gift wrapping book from kikki.k. There's a baby collection in there that's really, really cute. So if you remember the little kikki.k haul I did a few weeks ago, last week, I've lost track of weeks now. There was two baby books. There was one that was the new, what I called elegant one, and then there was the cute kind of one. It's the cute collection from that. So I thought we'd use that today. For two reasons. Number one, it's cute. Number two, I haven't actually used anything out of this gift wrapping book yet, so I thought this would be a really good opportunity to do that. So I'm just flipping to this collection, and I'm grabbing the envelope to start with. And I'm just trying to decide if I want to use the grey one or if I want to use the spotty one. I want this envelope to be there to hold some of the pictures. So what I've done, and what I've also done, is grabbed, I've printed on my sprocket a couple of pictures to put in this envelope. Now, one will be on the front and really obvious, and then the other ones will be in the little envelope. I'm also going to include a couple of little memory bits, like I've got one of her wristbands, which I'll show you in a second, from when she was in hospital, and also some notes from when people sent us flowers. I just want to put them all somewhere where I'm not going to lose them, and then if I move them into the baby book later, that's okay. So I'm just popping this out, flipping the page, and I'm just going to cut off the knobbly bits really quickly. Alright, all the knobbly bits are cut off. So I'm just going to fold this. All the lines are all there for me, so I don't have to score anything. But I am being careful because I do have a tendency to fold these wrong. If you ever have issues, like I'm having issues with this one, I can't quite see on the stripy side where the fold line is. So what I'm doing is folding it on the white side first, because I can see that, and then I can just fold it back over itself on the other side. Okay, so there's our little envelope. What I want to do is find a way that it can fold out or fold up or something. So we've got the punch, the holes are going to be on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to use this other bit of cardstock here. So if I have, so I just grab my scoreboard. So if I have a little flap at the top, this is me creating 100% on the fly at the moment, because I knew what I wanted to do, I just didn't know how I was going to do it. So I sort of wanted to play a little bit and show you guys how I kind of come up with some of these things. So I'm just checking that that card is not going to be too big. No, it's fine. Alright, whoops, wrong way around. So I'm going to give this a bit of a flap. over the top like that. I don't really mind that it's a little bit sort of up. I think that's kind of adds a little bit of something to it. And I'll cut this thinner so it sits the same size as the envelope, and then I'm just trying to decide if I have, let's cut that thinner. This is very much an experimental video today. We're not doing anything that I know what's going on. I'm just going to stick this envelope together now because I do know that that's where I want it. I'm just grabbing a bit of scrap paper. Just trying to work out how I'm going to do this. So do I want to stick it on the front, on the back? I can put it so that maybe it sits inside and flips. You got to sort of use your imagination a little bit here. And that way you can see the envelope either way. Kind of like that idea. And then I can sort of put stuff in the front and in the back. Alright, we're going to do that. So, I shouldn't have put that together, but I can pull it apart. It's only glue dots. Okay, I'm just being really gentle. I've torn it a little bit, but it'll be fine because we'll stick it back together again anyway. I'm just not going to go any further than that. So I'll just mark sort of how high this is, and we'll just cut it there. And we'll cover this in some nice paper in a second so it doesn't end up looking just like a piece of white cardboard. So we'll stick that down. So again, just use your imagination a little bit here. So that sits in there like that. Actually, we'll do it the other way around. So that back flap is on the front. So it'll sit like that. And we'll just put the pictures in like that. Then I might put one on the front maybe. Actually, I'm going to cut the flap off because the flap's kind of not in the way, but it's not going to work the way I want it to. So we'll just take the flap off. And that way I can put that at the front, but it'll be flat on the back. So it'll look like that. I'm just going to cut a little bit more off the flap, and then I'm going to add some paper on the flat bit before we put it all together. So that's got some decorative stuff too. You could use ink. I'm sort of thinking about what I'm doing and how I'm going to do this. I could use ink instead of paper. I'm just sort of thinking because it is such a small space. You're only going to see a teensy tiny little bit of it because that's going to sit up there and fold up. I'm coming up with ideas here as I go. So we're going to put paper on this one, and then we'll work on the next bit. I'm actually just going to start pulling out a couple of the things that I want to use. So I want to use this little card that says hello little one, even though I don't want to use it as a card. I just want to use the bit that says hello little one. So I'm just grabbing out all the bit that I need. Debating between, no, I'm going to use the yellow one. Spots, stripes, yellow. I'm sure there was another bit of paper in this. Maybe there wasn't. I'm going to use the grey stripes because I reckon that offsets the yellow really well. Did a really horrible job of getting that out, but that's alright. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this to my card. I'm just going to use glue tape for this, but I'm going to use a fair amount of it because I know I'm still going to be putting holes and stuff in this. I'm going to stick this down in the corner, and that way I shouldn't have to cut quite as much because it should be straight. Should. My favourite word. I can just cut off any excess if there's any there. No, that's pretty good. Rather than using another bit of paper, I'm just going to use a bit more of this, but I'm just going to cut a strip of it because I really don't need much because it's just enough to cover it up. So I'm just going to just use my little guide here. Yeah, I knew I had it the same as I had. There we go. I'm just making sure that the lines stay the same way. Otherwise I was going to use this bit because I thought, well, that's just perfect. But actually, better idea. This is going to be me recycling. I'm going to use a bit of this paper on the bottom. I love to use this part, sort of paper that's left over where I can. And because that's going to be the same way, it'll look like it's just the repeating of that. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on the top here. I've gone a little bit over my score line, but that's alright. Butting that up against the score line. And then anything that's still, any glue that's popping up still, I'm just rubbing off with my finger. And if that's not far enough, I'll just add a bit more glue. The same thing, just cutting off the excess. Just rubbing off the excess glue, sorry. I'm just going to cut the excess off with scissors. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stick, I'm going to put a ton of glue on the back of this, because that'll then stick to the back. You will then lose the ability to put stuff in the back of the pocket, but that's alright. So I'm just putting that at the top, again just to the score line. I'm just feeling along there to see that that's right, and it is. And then we can put all the photos and stuff in there. Now I'm just wondering if my little cards here are actually going to be too big. They are too. Bugger, that's alright. I can put them in that way if I want to. I just put them in the baby book, there's a pocket in there, but they are just a little bit big, but that's alright. So then we're going to stick this to the actual card itself. So what I want to do is make sure that I've got this in the center. So how big a card is it? So we're at 13. This is where I'm really bad at these things. Do it with the ruler proper, because I'm trying to do it with the inches and that doesn't work for my brain. Does not work for my brain. I'm going to work on the back anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. This is 13.4, 13.3, 13.3, 7.5. Like I'm being really precise here. I'm not being as precise as it looks. I just want it to sort of fit and look even. Folding that over. Now when I'm finished this, I may leave this underneath a heavy book for a couple of days just to try and lose some of that, because it's a bit pokey uppy, but it'll lose that as we go along. Alright, let's get to decorating this card. I've just grabbed my MemoryDex punch. So I may change this up and use the tag instead, only because I don't think that'll quite fit the way I wanted it to. So I've got the little Hello Little One tag. I might stick that on there instead, but I'm going to give it, want it to have a little bit of a pop. So I'm grabbing the piece of paper from the, actually, we'll use the yellow. No, we'll use the yellow. So I'm going to cut the fuzzy bits off this one, the knobbly bits, not the fuzzy bits. I might actually do a bit of string as well. Have a little bow on here. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down and then just cut. I just want it to have a little bit of a yellow border around it because it's grey on grey. It'll get lost a little bit, so we'll fix that up. It won't look like it's making much of a difference at the moment, but when we mount it up, it will. Mount it up. So I've just grabbed 3 different kinds of ribbon, twine. Trying to work out what I want to use. I think I'm leaning towards that. So I'm just going to punch the hole in here because I need to do that. Oops, and of course it's too far away. That's right, that's why we have this one. So I've just cut just a little bit of the ribbon. I'll probably end up using less than this, but so I've just cut that at an angle, and Ryan's just gone to get me some matches or a lighter or whatever he can find me so I can seal these off. I may need to cut them shorter anyway yet, so. So the problem with pulling it tight is that I'm trying not to tear the cardboard because it's not that strong, because it was really only that paper and stuff. So what I'm going to do is when I'll trim this, because I really only want it to be small. I've wasted a little bit of ribbon, but that's alright. And I'll seal that off. So I'm going to put it up on some foam tape anyway. So when I do that, I'll put a little glue dot. So we'll do that. I'll get the foam tape. It in just sort of on top of the ribbon, and then I'll put the little cover bit over the top of the glue dot, and that way it's not going to come undone. It doesn't look quite as natural now, but at least I know it's not going to undo. This is why I don't play with ribbon, guys, because I am a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to the ribbon, and if it's not right, I don't want to play with it. Anyway, I'm just going to seal the ribbon edges off so they don't fray. I'm just putting that off center just because I like it to be a little bit not quite perfect. Oh, I think that is so super cute. Alright, and then from there we've obviously got a bunch of the photos, and what I want to do is stick these down onto some coloured paper. Now I'm sort of debating at the moment whether I'm going to use the pattern paper that's in the kit, like in the book kit, jeez, or if I'm going to ink these up. I think for now I'm just going to leave them, but what I want to do is put little stories on the back of them, so if someone does come along and has a look in here, they can sort of pick out the photos and have a look. But then I also just want to put the little detail here, like put Charlotte's picture here, and then I think I'll write Charlotte on the top. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm still going to use a card. I knew I wanted to. I'm sort of seeing if there's a way I can use that one, which I don't think there is. So there's also a little bear one here. I'm going to grab that. It's a bit hard to pull out of the book. Alright. So it's got these two little bears, and I'm going to have that flip open, and I can put her weight and sort of height and stuff details on there. So we'll grab the trimmer just to get rid of all the fuzzy bits. And I like that that's yellow on the inside because it kind of then matches everything up. So I know I've shown you guys this trick before, but I'm going to show you again. So this is, I'm going to use the letters, the kikki.k letters that come in here. So where are they? Write out Charlotte. So only because, no, I'm going to use it. I was going to avoid using the pink, but I won't. So I'm just going to rotate the letters through, and then what I'm doing is sticking them down onto a bit of removable sticker paper. So this is just the back of any sticker sheet that you've already used up. So I keep mine when I've finished with them, and you do it for this reason, so then I can reuse it when I've got times when I've got something sticky that I need to line up first, and then can position it a lot easier. So I'm just going to stick down the Charlotte. I don't mind if it's not 100% straight, because that kind of adds to the fun. And because Charlotte's such a long word, I'm just going to see how it fits when I squish it all together. see how, if I can that's not sticking down particularly well on this piece of paper, which is okay because it doesn't need to stick well here, I guess. It's just making it a little hard while I'm trying to do all of these things. So now that I'm 90% happy with it, I'm just going to grab a little bit of washi tape. I'm going to take as much of the stick off this as I possibly can. So to do that, I'm just rubbing it on my clothes. That way it won't be quite so tacky. We just want it to have enough tack to hold it, but not damage the paper at all. So I'm just going to put and test it on another sticker that I don't care about, because I care about these ones. So I'm just going to do it on a Z. Yeah, this one. So run the washi down the middle. Like I said, I don't mind if it's not 100% perfectly straight, it just needs to be close enough. I'm just trying to decide if I want to make it straight or not. So I'm just going to stick that down on the edge there like that. Got the little bear with all the details. And there were some stickers in here as well. The alphabet stickers. Put the little pink bear in the corner, so it's going to sit just like that. So I'm just rubbing over the stickers. I am going to try and move that T in just a second because it's not quite in the right spot. Now I'm being really gentle while I pull that off. I don't want to mess that up, and I'm just going to try and pick up this T. Just move it down a little bit. The benefit of putting it on with the washi tape means that you can position it and try it and move it around a little bit, which you can't do so much if you just sort of start. This is my sort of little trick of fixing it up. I am going to do one more little experiment. So I'm just noticing that the R and the T aren't quite showing up so well on the grey. So I'm just going to grab another grey letter, doesn't matter which one. I'm just trying to find one that I think I won't use. There's not as many of the grey ones annoying. Actually, what I'll do, because I know I can pull these up, just pulling up the R and the other T, and I'm just going to replace them with another letter, like another colour. We'll just avoid the grey. I should have done that in the beginning. Alright, so we can stick these ones down. Do this one, no, I'll do the picture first. So I've just printed this with my sprocket the same way I printed all of the others. You could put this on a background if you wanted. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's what I want to do. I really should stop doing that. I'm going to give it a teeny tiny little yellow border so it matches the tag on the front. All crazy stuff you don't actually have to do. You guys know me well enough by now to know that I'm a bit of a perfectionist and a bit crazy and like to try and make sure everything's good. The cool thing about the sprocket is that it has the prints have sticky on the background, but now of course because I've gone and done that, it's not quite going to work out as nicely as it could have, but they do all have stick on the back, so it sort of makes it a bit easier to mount them up like this. also going to grab one of the little teal bears. So this is actually bunting. I'd never use the bunting. I know I should. Things that I should use. I feel like I'm wasting it when I do it, so there doesn't seem to be much point. Across, so it's going to sit right under the E, so it's not straight. That way I've got a bit more room for the bunny. His ears will still go behind that, but not quite so much. And I'm going to put the bear up underneath here. Neither of them are going to have a background on them though. I'll be good this time. I won't mount this on a bit of yellow because it would take me forever to fussy cut it out. So I'll write the details of her. Actually, I'll put them in now. I was going to put the details of her height and weight and length and stuff in afterwards, but I'll do it now. I'll leave it at that. Like I said, I can add more little pictures in here if I want to, or change these ones up. As this sits in my little MemoryDex box, it'll get a bit flatter because this will stop popping up. But I really like that. I like the different textures and the different layers on this one actually. It's sort of, I'm just going to add one more little, it just needs a little bit of foam tape underneath that top. There's something kind of fun about adding different textures and layers to a MemoryDex card, and it's something I haven't done a particular lot of, so it might be something I have to do a little bit more. I really like that ribbon. I think that sort of sets it off, and it does when I put it in the box. So we'll bring that in. Oh, thank goodness it fits. When it sits in the box, it still sits just off to the side, so it works really well. I'm actually really proud of that. I think that's really cool. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much to those people who voted on the poll on Instagram of whether it was going to be a MemoryDex or a planner page. I will do a planner page at some point, so if you're interested in seeing that, I highly suggest you follow me on Instagram. My information is down below, just so that if I don't do it as a video and just do it on Insta, you'll be able to see. If you do want to see it if it is a video, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and let me know down below if you want more baby projects or less baby projects. I can always do more or less of Charlotte, that doesn't bother me. I hope you guys have an absolutely awesome week, whatever you get up to, and I will catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!